Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing the Cartier Santos de Cartier in large. This watch is a 2020 release, an iteration of the 2018 full model line redesign of the Santos. So the change for 2020 was the addition of this lovely gray ADLC coated steel bezel and a dial to match. So this is the Santos Large in stainless steel. It measures 39.8 millimeters from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, not counting the crown and crown guards. It's a thin watch at 9.4 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, the watch measures 47.5 millimeters. The watch comes with a bracelet, but it also comes with a rubber strap in black. So the watch is accessorized, and you do have some flexibility to fine-tune the look of your watch if you want to dress it up or dress it down. Now on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see the Santos Large is by no means the Santos Huge. It's a fairly compact watch from lug to lug, and it wears even smaller when it is on the strap. It is quite thin, and with a stepped case flank and less than 10 millimeters of height, it does slide easily underneath the dress cuff. Yes, it's a sports watch, but it can absolutely be your dress watch as well. And if you're going to wear it as a dress watch, the bracelet is a little bit more formal. The timepiece is probably suitable for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Again, my wrist is 16. And we'll take a look at the bracelet, which is integrated. You can see it features these iconic simulated rivets, and we have a little bit of a waterfall on this generation of Santos where the bezel flows down into the bracelet, seamlessly continuing the rivet pattern, or the, I should say, screw pattern of the bezel into the bracelet. The bracelet features a combination of polished simulated rivets and then satin finish, so there's a nice contrast between them. There's a little bit of a taper built into the links, and the watch is absolutely ingenious in its use of this quick switch system. So this is how you swap the watch over to the strap. You can also get leather straps from Cartier for this watch, so there are quite a few options available. You can see more easily here the taper from the top link to the bottom links, and then we have a double folding twin trigger release steel clasp of quite thick gauge steel, so it's quite robust and secure thanks to the twin trigger release. You can see there are little bars flanking several of the links, and there are quite a few of those. Those are our removable links. So the way this works, they call it Smart Link, and it really is you just push a trigger that is integral to the link, and then the spring-loaded bar pops out, then it comes right off, just like that. Remove the next link, reassemble, and you've sized the bracelet without tools. Now, they're really smart at Cartier. They know, over in La Chaux de Fonds, that you're going to lose this little pin if it withdraws completely from the link. As a result, it is anchored. You cannot pull it out all the way. And you can see how seamlessly those triggers are made flush with the underside of the links. The machining tolerances here are incredible. It's something a craft brand probably couldn't accomplish, but the industrial might of Cartier can. So you have many sizable links on both sides. You will find the correct fit for your wrist. Jumping back to the case, of course, we know that the Santos de Cartier, first created in 1904, was one of the first wristwatches, one of the first sports watches, and the first pilot's watch. Let me elaborate. Alberto Santos Dumont, a Brazilian aviator who flew dirigibles, that is airships, rather than winged planes. He was a pioneer of aviation, and he operated primarily out of Paris. His friend Louis Cartier was asked to make a watch that could be used while operating an airship. And airships are unwieldy, so you need both hands. As a result, it wasn't practical to have a watch in the pocket that would need to be withdrawn. So a watch on the wrist that could be viewed with a hand on a tiller or a wheel was the solution. The wrist-borne Santos de Cartier, initially created for Santos himself, became an icon, and though it wasn't available for commercial sale until many years later, its place in history was secured. Now, this one is a little bit sportier than the redesigned Santos Large that debuted back in 2018, and you can see why. We have this ADLC, amorphous diamond-like carbon coating on the bezel. So the bezel is steel, but it has this incredibly hard black coat on top of it. Now, the bolts, which are functional and are part of the assembly of the case, they are polished for a nice contrast contrast. We have a lot of satin finish, both on the bezel as well as on the case flank. You can see that the outer face of the bezel has been black polished on both sides. And there's a lovely taper to the bezel. You can see it's thick at the mid case, but then it thins out as it approaches the end. We have bevels on the edge of the case that are also in high polish, as is the faceted crown, and you can see that there's a lovely black cabochon atop it. We have a lovely set of tapered lugs with wraparound bevels, and then we jump to the dial, where there are two different directional grains. The center dial has a vertical satin grain, and then the hour track outboard features a sort of sunburst for contrast. There is a piano key style or railroad track inner scale for reading minutes and seconds. Then we have radially arrayed Roman numerals with a watchmaker's 4 and that little Cartier secret signature in the V of Roman numeral 7. We'll do a quick loom shot. This watch is well loomed, absolutely nothing given up to a conventional sports watch, and the watch is 100 meters water resistant, but it's more than that. It is also anti-magnetic to 1200 Gauss, so it is more than 1000 Gauss anti-magnetic. Inside, we have a Cartier manufacturer caliber that's effectively a drop-in replacement for the old ETA 2892. This is the MC 1847. It's an automatic winder. It has a 42-hour power reserve, a stop seconds function, a quick set date. It beats away at 8 beats per second. It pivots on 23 joules. And again, it has an immense amount of hardening against magnetism. If you love this watch, the first pilot's watch made new, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.